Hello and welcome to this week's video on narcissistic abuse and how empathy is used by the person who has the narcissistic traits in order to get their narcissistic supply. I've been requested to speak about this topic because this is a situation that has occurred in most of the situations I have come across where I'm working with the people who have suffered narcissistic abuse. Let's take this example. And you can replace the word cancer with any other illness or ailment or tragedy that you might envisage that can occur, unfortunately, in real life. So take the situation where somebody comes to you who you've got some sort of connection with, and it's an acquaintance or a friend, and they start to say that they have got a terrible illness. For example, in this case, cancer. Or it could be heart disease, or it could be any other illness that comes across that you can think of, or a horrible childhood, or anything that you might think that a human being suffering is going to elicit care, compassion in you so that you will exude and give them the time of day. So this person comes to you and says, oh dear, I've been diagnosed with this, and they make a long story out of it. And what ensues is you giving them a lot of attention. Rightly so. If somebody has truly got an illness, you would want to give them the time of day. You would want to alleviate the sufferings around you, of the people around you. That is a normal, natural reaction. Now, what happens if the person has got narcissistic traits? More often than not, every single thing of theirs is exaggerated, is invented, is created, even though in reality it does not exist. And this has happened and is present in many people who exhibit narcissistic traits, especially the ones who love to be the victims, who revel in the fact that they are the victims of a very horrible, terrible life, when actually, when you look at it objectively, that is not the case. Now, what happens in this situation? You see, when you give somebody a lot of care and attention, it's not just the time that you're giving them. It's the emotional turmoil that the person who is the victim in this case, who is the person who's giving the empathy, is subjected to. When you see people around you suffering, as an empathetic person, you will not be comfortable. It can be hurtful. It can ensue sorrow in you. You are faced with existential angst for that other person, perhaps for you as well. And you can sometimes completely remove yourself from your life and plant yourself in the other person's life so that you can ease that person's suffering as much as possible. Now, I have come across this with clients and non-clients, time and time again. When the reality sets in that they have been duped, their sense of reality, their sense of self is questioned. What has been real? What was not real? What part of the relationship was genuine? What part was not genuine? What do I do from here? And it can completely bring up symptoms of trauma in the person who's been exuding all this empathy. Now, if you feel that you've been subjected to this, remember, you are not alone. When people come to me, they say, but I've not heard of other people going through that. How could I have been duped? How did I not see that? Remember, the person here who is at fault is not you. Giving genuine empathy to the people around you is not a bad thing. The thing that becomes challenging is where you find yourself giving it even after you've realized that that person has created this situation or has exaggerated the situation simply to milk more narcissistic supply from you. And at that point is where you would want to go look within, look at your own crap. And by crap, I mean their fears of criticism, rejection, abandonment, and punishment, or your own fog, your things that you do out of fear, obligation, and guilt. Go within and see, what is it about you that prevents you from putting a boundary around you so that you're securing yourself to say, this is enough. This is my sense of self. And if anybody oversteps it, then they get pushed out. So this way you're able to maintain your humanity, maintain your empathy, which is a huge strength. Empathy is able to give you this exuberance for life and this love for life because it's such a beautiful emotion. Hang on to it and protect it, secure it, so you are reserving it for the people that are truly worthy of it in your life, and not the ones who are simply using you for their own gains of making their false sense of self think that they actually matter. So again, remember, empathy is used as narcissistic supply in the narcissists, with the narcissists all the time. When you recognize it, the moment you recognize it, that's where your work comes in. If you want to know a little bit more about crap and fog, look at my other videos where I've spoken about crap and fog. If you find that this information has been helpful, please do like, subscribe, and follow our little channel. Bring comments in at the bottom if you feel that this is the way that you have been subjected to your empathy being used against you. Then let us know. Look after yourselves, but above all, recognize that your empathy is a superpower. It gives you this amazing aliveness. There's nothing wrong with it. And there's nothing wrong with you having empathy for other people. So hang in there, protect yourselves from people who have narcissistic traits, and go on. Have fun. Take care, and I shall see you next time.